In this repair video, we're going to be working on the MacBook Pro 15-inch mid-2012, board number 820-3330. Customer came in and he said that his laptop is behaving erratically. Sometimes he turns the laptop on, after a few seconds it turns back off. Sometimes the green light on the charger comes on and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes even though the green light does not come on, the laptop still turns on and fans go full speed. And he also mentioned that he never got an orange light on the charger. His battery could never charge. So three things: no orange light on the charger, battery cannot charge, sometimes green light, sometimes no green light, and computer shuts off after a few seconds, and even if he tries to power it on, it doesn't power back on. He will have to disconnect the charger, wait a few seconds, put the charger back in, and power it on. It will turn on for a few seconds and shuts back off. So the customer provided us with all this information. How do we start? Where should we look? What parts of the board should we look into? Let's take a look at the current sensing filters or resistors and see if the values are good. This is the circuit that is responsible for taking the 18 volts in and converting the 18 volts to 12 volts, which is known as PP bus G3 hot. Okay, so if you look in here, it's two system. It sends the 12 volts to the system, and this is 2 from battery. So if there's anything wrong with the circuit here, we're not going to get an orange light, and battery is not going to charge. We do not know what part of the circuit is causing this, but we're going to do a process of elimination to figure out what's going on. The first thing I want to do is test the current sensing resistors, R7021, R7022, and we're also going to test R7051 and R7052. Hey buddy, how are you?
Good, man.
So let's go ahead and test the current sensing resistors, R7021, R7022, and then we'll test R7051 and R7052. Let's see where those are on the board. R7021 and R7022. And let's also do the other. Let's search for the other one also, R7051. So we're going to be testing those two and those two. Now 21 and 22 should be 10 ohms each. We're not going to only test the resistors, but we're also going to test if the resistor is reaching its destination down here. So we're going to test here and here, and by testing these 2 points we should get 20 ohms. Same thing goes for this. Okay, so let's test R7021 and R7022. Okay, so we do have 10 ohms here, and we do have 10 ohms here, and let's test on the bottom here. We should get 20 ohms, and yes, we are getting 21 ohms, which is good. Now we're going to test the other two resistors, and one of them should be 0 ohms and the other should be 2.2 ohms. Okay, so this is the 2.4 ohms or 2.2 ohms. And this one here should be the 0 ohms, 0.3, that's good. So those resistors are good. Since the laptop is not charging and there's no orange light on the charger, I want to also test the pull-up resistor. Hey buddy, how are you?
Pretty good.
What's
this
going on?
morning, phone just started turning purple and black.
So the other thing we want to do is also test the pull-up resistors for SM bus connections.
Hello sir, how's it going? I was wondering how much it costs for an iPhone 7 screen without the repair.
We do not sell screens only.
There's no way you could sell a screen?
The next thing I want to do is test the pull-up resistors, R5280 and R5281. These are the data lines that communicate with the SMC. It's very important that we have the correct values for the resistors here. So let's locate R5280 and R5281. These two resistors are in the same location. Right over here. Both of them should be 2K. Let's see. So this one should be 2K And that's correct. And this one should be 2K also. And we have 2K. So those pull-up resistors are good. Let's go back to the circuit that we were working with. So what else should we test? I want to make sure that we are getting the proper voltage on this fuse, F7040. This circuit takes the 19 volts in and it makes 12 volts out. So I want to make sure that we are getting a steady PP bus G3 hot, a steady 12 point something volts. The fuse should be somewhere on the back of the board. But here, let's take a look. This is our fuse here. Before we can test, we need to plug the charger in. The charger is plugged in. We have a green light, fans are spinning. And let's go ahead and test. And we are getting 12.59 volts, a steady 12.59. Let's test one more time. That's one end of the fuse, and the other end of the fuse is also 12.58. So we are getting a steady 12.58. Let me just keep the probe on there for a while and see if it changes. Okay, steady voltage. PP bus G3 hot is steady. So what else can we test? Right now we just eliminated the fact that it could be current sense. We eliminated the pull-up resistors, which is the data lines that communicates with the SMC. Now the only logical thing that can cause this problem is the U7000 chip itself, the Isl chip, Q7030 and Q7035, or it could be a combination of all three. So we can start by replacing the Isl chip and see if that fixes the problem. If not, then we can also replace Q7030 and Q7035. Now the reason I'm not looking at anything else on the circuit is because we do have PP bus G3 hot. So that means that the Isl chip is being powered. Everything, all the voltages are reaching the chip, and that's why we are getting a green light, and we are also getting the proper PP bus G3 hot voltage. We can start by replacing the Isl chip and see if that will fix the problem. This one is the 625.9.6259. And we do have some in stock. So we're gonna be replacing this with this. And let me put this one on the side for the time being. Pin number 1 is on the top left. Hi, how are you?
I wanted to see about getting the glass.
Okay, so let's go ahead and install the new Isl chip. Okay, so we are still not getting an orange light. So let's proceed with step 2, which is replace Q7030 and Q7035. So we're gonna replace this one and this one, these two. I do not know which one is the problem. We can try replacing this one. If it doesn't work, then we replace this one also. Okay, let's wait for the board to cool down a bit and then we can go ahead and test to see if that fixes the problem. So all I want to do is connect a battery and the screen. That's it. Or we do not even have to connect the screen, just the battery. Okay, so orange light. We now have an orange light. Okay, so the laptop is now charging. So what did we do? We changed the Isl chip and we changed Q7030 and Q7035. And that's it. As you can see, the battery charged up a bit. I disconnected the cable and it's still running. So the computer is now charging.